Welcome to United Network News, the official news channel for CARE, the Center for Amity and Restoration of Earth. I'm Sunny Galt. At UNN, you get the real news. Through our field messengers, we show you the truth about what's really taking place in our communities. We also bring you stories to help you remember who you are and why you're here, as well as regional stories that impact the people. And our World Situation Report reveals what's happening throughout the multiverse. We are here to restore Earth. In the U.S., it is Wednesday, January 3rd, 2024. Looking for a quick and healthy meal using fruits and vegetables common in many gardens? We'll show you how to make this beetroot salad. And this storage facility gets a dramatic makeover. It's now a beauty salon, providing extra income for the family. In the new Earth, living sustainably doesn't always mean living healthy. We'll explain the common pitfalls to avoid, plus the importance of shopping locally to support your community.
This is Calen messenger for United Network News. Here's a look at today's field messenger reports from all around the world. Packed with essential vitamins and minerals, beetroot salad is an excellent addition to any balanced diet. UNN field messenger Joe shares an easy salad recipe that can be prepared in a few minutes.
This is Joe, Field Messenger for United Network, coming to you from the Northern Rivers of Australia. I had a few beetroots in my garden, so I decided to show you how to make a very quick and healthy raw beetroot salad. Today I have 3 beetroots, 2 carrots, 2 apples, and for the dressing, extra virgin olive oil and the juice of a fresh lemon. Peel and chop the beets, core and cut the apples, and chop the carrots. Put all the ingredients into a Thermomix or Vitamix, including the olive oil and lemon juice. Then blend it all together. I like to add some lemon sorrel and fennel flowers or coriander from the garden and a little goat's cheese. Except for the goat's cheese, all the ingredients of this salad are healthy for our dogs as well. My dog loves it, and now she's ready to play. Thank you for watching.
Starting your own business is a great opportunity to become your own boss. UNN field messenger Heather shares her journey of transforming a part of her property into a fabulous hair salon.
This is UNN Field Messenger Heather reporting to you from southern Utah. I was a hairstylist for a long time in Arizona, and I retired when I moved to Utah to get married. But recently it's become very clear that if I'm going to keep getting more and more animals on my farm, I need to work. But the job market around here is terrible, so I decided to take matters into my own hands. We had a storage building on our property that wasn't really doing a whole lot, so I turned it into a hair salon. Let me show you around. We had this funny little building outside of our house that wasn't insulated, so we just used it for storage. When we decided to make it a hair salon, we cleaned it out and hired a friend of ours to add plumbing, insulation, and drywall. Then we painted the walls, laid the flooring, and added a mirror that we found on our property. Next was the furniture. I didn't want my salon to look like any place else, so I painted and decorated the furniture myself. Everyone that comes into my hair salon says that it is super cute and unique. The best part is God has been bringing a lot of like-minded people to my salon, so I'm making a lot of friends in our new town, all while making a living doing something I love. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.
We want you to become a UNN field messenger. These are everyday people just like you who want to make a difference in their community. You don't need any special training or equipment. Just use the camera on your mobile phone and show us what's happening in your area. You send us your videos and our production team will create the report for you. For ideas and inspiration, we encourage you to join our new Field Messenger group. It's on Telegram. And until our website is up and running, you can upload them to our new email address, fieldmessenger@unitednetwork.earth.
Hello, I'm Susan from Sweden.
Mwanda Michael from Eastern Uganda, Africa.
Hi, I'm Tim from Vancouver, Canada.
I'm Judicial Law from Manipur State, India.
I'm Gumba Obasi from Southeast Nigeria.
Arnaito Chakrini from Western Uganda, Mbarara.
At United Network News, you are the news.
My name's Christina, Field Messenger, report first one in the hurricane down here in Southern California from Mexico.
Real people reporting real stories from all around the world. At UNN, our field messengers are changing the face of news.
This is Jason from United Network News. We're going to be doing some aircrete building with new technologies that allow us to live in comfort and also off the grid.
Take the next step in changing the way the world gets the news. Become a UNN field messenger today.
I am Michelle from South Africa, and we are the United Network News.
I am United Network News.
I'm United Network News.
If it is going to be, then it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
Si va a ser así, depende de mí. It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to all of us. We're UNN.
In the new Earth, you may decide to leave the standard electrical grid behind and live a more sustainable life. Getting out and experiencing nature is amazing for your mind, body, and soul, but going off the grid doesn't necessarily make you more healthy. Starry Hilder has a popular YouTube channel where she talks about all sorts of things, such as homesteading, food preservation, composting, raising animals, and much more. So if you're thinking about living off grid, to many of us that sounds that, it's natural, it's healthy, you're off the grid, right? Maybe not so much. Sometimes living off the grid means not being as healthy, as I recently found out. Starry recently told me this. So Starry, what's your advice for living off grid but still keeping healthy at the same time?
This is a really important topic for me because obviously of my nursing background, because I do have cancer, and I lived off the grid, that really bad accident, a lot of life-changing things. And even since my divorce, I have tried to live that sustainable lifestyle, but there's been one health crisis after another. And so what it has taught me is that we can have the biggest pantry, we can have all the firewood in the world, we can have a great solar setup, but if we don't have our health, what do we have, right? Mm-hmm. So I believe that my temple belongs to God and that I should honor it. And part of that success in living off the grid is really looking at myself in a very different way. And I think one of the saddest things is when I see people who are living off the grid and they're eating really poorly. They work hard, but they come home and they're eating terrible food, processed food, and it really defeats the purpose. We continue with our vices, and we all have vices. Some of us are addicted to sugar. Some of us are addicted to alcohol. Some of us are still smoking. Some of us just have really bad habits. But if you want to have the sustainable life, the first thing that needs to be sustainable is your body.
Your body.
And your health. And if you can't sustain that, all of the perks, like I just said, they're not going to cut it. Mm-hmm. So, just very simply, and I won't get too much into this, but when people see me, I'm very, very active. And one of the things with being diagnosed with cancer, and I think that really saved me, is that I had lived a very active life. Now, I had made bad food choices, and I've cut those out now. But, when people say, well, I'm in the garden all day, or I'm out splitting wood, that's great. That's really good. But I even know as a physical fitness instructor that you need sustained activity. You really need to exercise. And that means having an effort where your heart rate is going to be raised for so many minutes. And then you rest and you raise it again, and you rest and you raise it again. So active exercise is very important. I tell women you should start weightlifting because we have a tendency to get osteoporosis. We have bone density problems. And when people get older and they live off the grid and they fall down, they break hips, right? And so, exercise when you're living off the grid is not just about being outside and doing your yard work. It really is taking some valuable time and exercising, being on a bike, going for a brisk walk, lifting some weights, really putting that effort forth. And then, of course, our diet. We have quite the opportunity to eat healthy and off the grid. We have probably more of an opportunity to eat healthy, and then yet we choose not to. And I know there are food addictions out there. I get it, but that's why, even for me, I have to look at things very differently with even what I take into my body. And because I love Jesus and he gave me this body and he really is, he's so merciful, part of my health is really recognizing that I have like a duty to take care of me. So I'm going to put in my mouth what God created. And if he didn't create it, I'm probably not going to put it in my mouth. And if I have problems with that, I'm really going to pray about that and see if, whatever your higher power is, whatever, if you don't have a higher power, that's fine. If you don't believe in Jesus, that's fine. But what about your partner? If your partner can help you, do it together. If you are overweight and you got to lose a couple pounds, ask your partner to help you. That's the other thing. When we live off the grid and we're married, it really needs to be you're on the same page and you have a partnership. If you don't, it's not going to work. Because it's not just about our physical health, but it's also about our mental health also. And so if we're fighting all the time, or if there's just things that are unresolved in a marriage or in a partnership, you got to get those resolved. Because living off the grid can be hard. Creating a sustainable atmosphere can be hard. It's work. And you need two people on the same page.
Another great way to live a more sustainable life is by supporting local businesses, especially small shops that encourage your new lifestyle. Choosing to shop at locally owned businesses cultivates economic stability, promotes community development, and fosters a unique, vibrant cultural identity. Small but mighty, these enterprises are an essential part of local landscapes. By choosing to purchase from small business, consumers contribute to the growth of their community's economy by keeping money in circulation within the area. This also aids in creating job opportunities and generating tax revenue that funds community services and infrastructure development. The majority of money spent at chain stores and restaurants leaves the community. Moreover, local business owners tend to be well informed about their products, offering knowledge and support for exceptional customer service with a personal touch. These establishments are known for unique offerings and often create innovative strategies to stand out among big corporations. Local business also tends to foster a greener environment. They can reduce environmental impact by sourcing products from local suppliers, relying less on long-distance transportation compared to their corporate counterparts. Supporting small business goes beyond economic and environmental benefits. Shopping locally isn't just about transactions. It also builds relationships and a sense of community. Local businesses tend to support charities in their area and often serve as a social hub that contributes to the community's vibrancy. They also help to preserve the unique character and charm of towns and cities. Supporting, sustaining, and celebrating local small businesses are important in creating thriving communities. The Harry Blosfeld Municipal Nursery, nestled in Sao Paulo, Brazil, is a thriving sanctuary committed to the conservation of rare plant species and the protection of nocturnal wildlife. Covering 124 acres, the nursery dedicates 27 acres solely to seedling cultivation, the seeds of which are sourced directly from local forests and parklands. The nursery stands as a pioneer in flora preservation, dedicated to the collection, sorting, and identification of seeds. Each seed is carefully processed to cultivate seedlings indigenous to the region. The procedure of seed collection is marked with GPS coordinates for each collection site, and the health of each tree is recorded. In its mission to safeguard the environment, the nursery prioritizes planting seeds of native species, especially those facing threats of extinction or those undervalued due to their lack of economic return. Municipal nurseries like this one play a crucial role in biodiversity. They highlight the worth of neglected flora and promote scientific learning through the study of various species. The nursery takes on the responsibility of conserving endangered species and reintroducing species that have faded from urban landscapes. Their work emphasizes creating an urban forest composed of native species with a focus beyond aesthetics. The Harry Blossfeld Nursery is a shining example of urban sustainability with a dedication to enhancing the city's biodiversity and preserving its native species. Through tireless efforts, the nursery is playing an important part in redefining Sao Paulo's identity, one seedling at a time. Intuition, often referred to as a gut feeling, is an influential tool in our decision-making process. About 70% of people claim to consistently rely on their inner feelings when evaluating various situations. The subconscious mind can process vast amounts of data, leading to these intuitive feelings. It is challenging to logically explain this intriguing mental phenomenon. Our rapid decisions and bodily sensations often originate from gut-brain communication facilitated by the vagus nerve. This connection taps into an emotional awareness that our logical mind may ignore. Enhancing our understanding of this inner wisdom can unlock the power of gut feelings, particularly in high-stress scenarios. Techniques like journaling and meditation can foster a deep understanding of the subconscious mind and highlight the importance of listening to our intuition. Taking the time to listen, trust, and act on our inner guidance can greatly enhance many aspects of life, from decision-making and relationships to overall well-being. However, completely relying on intuition can be challenging, especially when our local mind attempts to intervene. This is evident when individuals second-guess themselves during tests or quizzes, despite their initial instinctive response being correct. Learning to trust that strong sensation in your gut could potentially save you from unfortunate choices. Approaching decision-making with an open mind can steer you toward a more fulfilling life. Positive outcomes can arise when we learn to embrace and trust our intuition. Intuition, also known as that gut feeling, is a powerful tool to assist us in decision-making. Want to share news from UNN with your friends and family? Memes are a great way to get the conversation going, and here's today's UNN meme of the day. It says, "I am in charge of myself. I am a sovereign being. I am the anchor of source light." Now, you are all an important part of the restoration of this planet. Together, along with Source, we can make anything happen. To see more memes just like this one, you can follow our Meme Team Telegram channel at UNN Memes. Share them on Telegram and any other social media channels where you still have an account. Now, a look at regional stories around the world. A big blow for Benjamin Netanyahu's attempt to completely control the Israeli government. Learn more about the Supreme Court ruling that limits his power. China appears to have flip-flopped on their one-child policy, now practically begging for families to procreate. A big win for Ethiopia. The landlocked nation now has access to a coastline. And in France, a new mandatory rule is requiring residents to recycle their organic waste. The Israeli Supreme Court has overturned a law denying judges the ability to strike down government decisions considered unreasonable. The court's decision, which also affirmed their authority to overturn basic laws, came as a considerable blow to Israeli President Benjamin Netanyahu and his followers. The ruling has sparked uncertainty about what the government's response will be, possibly leading to a constitutional showdown over which government branch wields ultimate authority. Before the war, public opposition to the government's attempts to reshape the justice system led to widespread protests, including from military reservists. The potential revival of the overhaul and the ensuing protests could further disrupt national unity and affect military readiness. Critics view the overhaul as an attempt by Netanyahu's government, which controls both the executive and legislative branches due to a majority coalition in parliament, to further consolidate power. A surge in Rohingya refugees arriving in Indonesia's Aceh province has caused unrest amongst local students. More than 200 rallied outside the provincial parliament, demanding the expulsion of the refugees. They voiced concerns that the influx of refugees could trigger social and economic disruption in the community. Locals even attacked a community hall, sheltering 137 refugees, leading to their forced relocation. The refugees, predominantly women and children, were visibly distressed as their belongings were thrown out and they were forcibly moved to new accommodations. Human rights groups expressed their concern over the situation, reminding everyone of the refugees' desperate circumstances, and they urged local authorities to ensure their protection. The Rohingya people fleeing violence and persecution in Myanmar and Bangladesh are now facing further hardship amid growing anti-refugee sentiment. China has transitioned from enforcing a one-child policy to promoting larger families. And as a result, many Chinese women are expressing frustration at being objectified by these population control measures. Many had been coerced into unwanted medical procedures to prevent pregnancies, while now they receive messages encouraging them to bear more children. The shift in policy has also resulted in stricter control of pregnancy prevention procedures, making it difficult for individuals to choose sterilization. Women's rights have further been undermined with a lack of female representation in political roles and a return to patriarchal societal norms. Despite this, Chinese women are finding ways to voice their concerns. However, women's rights and feminist ideologies are often suppressed by the government, resulting in detainment of activists and deletion of social media accounts that speak up against these issues. Afghanistan is struggling with a severe shortage of female doctors, a crisis that seriously impacts women and children's access to health care. Cultural norms often prohibit women from being treated by male doctors, particularly in rural areas. The shortage, intensified by the current generation of female medical professionals nearing retirement, heightens healthcare risks for women. However, due to the Taliban's recent takeover, universities are banned from educating women, creating a devastating gap in the healthcare system. Hospitals face operational challenges, including inadequate funding, staff shortages, and medical supply scarcities, leading to the closure of some facilities and the mass emigration of doctors. Women's health, especially maternal health, is at an unprecedented risk. Young women who aspire to become doctors struggle with financial hurdles, educational roadblocks, and societal pressures. More than 2,000 workers in South Africa have staged an ongoing underground protest for 2 days regarding issues of pay and benefits. The mine, located near Rustenburg and owned by one of the world's largest platinum miners, Implats, has temporarily shut down operations due to the strike. Although discussions with the National Union of Mine Workers has started, the dispute remains unresolved. The protest has resulted in only a minimal number of workers resurfacing as they continue their demonstration in the mine shafts. This is not an isolated incident, with similar protests taking place recently at a gold mine near Johannesburg. This ongoing issue is reminding people of the 2012 tragedy where 34 miners were killed during a strike at a nearby mine. Ethiopia, a country of more than 120 million people and the world's largest landlocked nation, has secured an agreement with the Somali region of Somaliland for access to its coastline. The deal, signed by the Ethiopian Prime Minister and the Somaliland President, is set to strengthen security, political, and economic ties between the two regions. The arrangement will also give Ethiopia a Marine Force base on a leased 20-kilometer, or about 12.5-mile, stretch of the Somaliland coast. This could alter the economic and logistical landscape for Ethiopia, which has been heavily reliant on the Djibouti port for imports and exports since losing its sea access in 1993. The move has sparked controversy in Somalia, which claims Somaliland as part of its territory and regards the agreement as an infringement on its sovereignty. In Ecuador, poverty-stricken communities are resorting to illegal fishing practices, creating health risks and environmental impact. That's according to a recent study. The locals, unaware of the potential dangers, use explosives and agrochemicals for fishing, contaminating the fish and posing long-term health threats like liver problems, cancer, and anemia. Despite the risks, these practices continue due to the lack of monitoring and law enforcement, coupled with easy access to dynamite and agrochemicals. Many turn to this method as a desperate means for survival or to feed their families. Researchers emphasize the need for a stronger government presence and education programs to mitigate the effects of these hazardous practices. Some indigenous communities, having control over their lands, have taken it upon themselves to ban these practices, setting an example for others to follow. In an effort to combat the alarming decline in bee population, Colombia is turning seized illegal timber into homes for bees. The Timber Returns Home initiative, operating in the northern Santander department, has already resulted in the creation of 1,000 beehives, with plans to create an additional 10,000 in the next phase. Bees play a critical role in pollination, crucial to the production of fruit and seed crops that humans consume. Despite this, 40% of invertebrate pollinators face the threat of global extinction. The decline in bee population, aggravated by pesticide use and other environmental factors, directly impacts food security. Organic waste recycling is now a must for households and businesses in France. Starting January 1st, local authorities must provide options for residents to sort bio-waste, including food scraps, expired food, and garden waste. Organic waste must now be disposed of in a dedicated bin for home collection or a municipal collection point. The collected waste will be transformed into biogas or compost. While facilities are being established, there will be no fines for non-compliance. Organic waste accounts for nearly 1/3 of household waste and can contaminate recyclable packaging when mixed with other trash. In the UK, more than 270,000 divorces have been postponed since 2020 due to the current cost of living crisis, according to a new study. Financial pressures, including increased living costs and the expensive process of divorce, have played a significant role in postponing separations, impacting couples across all income levels. The study showed divorces reduce average individual income by about 31%, or £9,700, about $12,300 annually. Despite the financial implications of divorce on retirement funds, only 1/5 of couples considered their pensions when dividing assets. As the cost of living continues to rise, the inflation and interest rate increases, the financial burden on families intensifies, making separations more challenging. Also in the UK, the government has introduced a side hustle tax targeting individuals who earn more than £1,000, or about $1,300, annually through online transactions, such as selling secondhand goods or renting rooms. Online platforms like eBay, Airbnb, and Etsy are now required to report user earnings to HM Revenue and Customs. This measure is meant to address tax evasion, requiring such earners to register as self-employed and file yearly tax returns. The new rules also require platforms to report transaction numbers and bank account details of users, with penalties for non-compliance. The changes, part of a global agreement by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, are expected to affect up to 5 million businesses, although the impact on individual sellers is anticipated to be minimal. Roosevelt Island, an island on the East River in New York City, was hit with a series of minor explosions, causing widespread power outages yesterday morning. People were awoken by a loud noise and disturbance, experiencing unsettling tremors in their buildings. The power cutoff majorly impacted residents at 2 and 4 River Road near Roosevelt Island Bridge and Tram, suggesting a possible electrical cause for these explosions. No injuries have been reported as of yet. However, authorities are checking on the structures of the island to ensure their safety. The New York Police Department is currently managing traffic, while the Fire Department of New York is investigating the cause. Patients in the U.S. may soon see insulin prices go down. Major insulin manufacturers, Sanofi, Novo Nordisk, and Eli Lilly, have recently implemented price caps, making their products more accessible to uninsured and commercially insured patients. The cap, now at $35 per month, is a result of increasing public pressure and competition in the market. Additionally, the companies have significantly lowered the list prices for many of their insulin products, a move demanded by lawmakers and patient advocates for years. These changes will save users hundreds of dollars annually. However, they also provide financial benefits to the manufacturers, who save millions in Medicaid rebates. The U.S. Internal Revenue Service, or IRS, is launching a free online tax filing service available to residents in 13 states. This initiative is primarily aimed at W-2 taxpayers who don't itemize their tax returns, providing a cost-effective and efficient tool for filing taxes. The program operates in a similar manner to online tax software like TurboTax, with a user-friendly interview-style format and dedicated customer service support. However, certain groups, such as business owners and those with a side income, are ineligible. Arizona, California, Massachusetts, and New York are incorporating their state taxes into the program as well. Other states, while included in the program, aren't yet ready to integrate their state taxes. The program will undergo constant testing and refinement for user-friendliness and comprehension issues before its full-scale launch for the 2024 tax season. Want the latest updates from UNN? Be sure to follow our channel on Telegram called United Network News Channel. This is our official Telegram channel. It's where you'll find direct links to our newscasts and our in-depth field messenger reports. And we would also like to introduce you to CARE's new Health and Wellness Department. We mentioned this to you briefly on Monday. Newly ratified, you can connect with the Center for Health and Wellness of Earth, or CHWE community, by joining the Telegram channel. Just search for Center for Health Wellness of Earth. There you go. CARE, the Center for Amity and Restoration of Earth, will be adding several channels over the next few weeks where you can join the conversation in different areas of restoration. And now, the World Situation Report with Kimberly Gogan from the Office of the Guardian. There are rising tensions between the secret Space Force and militaries worldwide. It seems the Q clock thinks the world is going to end in 9 days. Who is Saddam Hussein's secret son, and why is this important now? And now here's Kimberly Gogan with the Office of the Guardian. Hi, Kim.
Hello, Miss Sunny. How are you feeling?
I am feeling better today. I feel like each day gets a little bit better. And by the way, I want to thank all of you who've reached out to me on Telegram. Sometimes you guys just post in the group. Sometimes you guys send me private messages. But a lot of you are sharing your stories. A lot of you aren't feeling so well right now either. So I guess misery enjoys company a little bit. Well wishes and, people offering advice on what's worked for them. So much love. Appreciate you guys. But yes, I'm feeling better. Thank you, Kim. Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. We do have so much, speaking of threads, in Telegram, we have so much movement. Everything seems very positive. People are starting to find us on Telegram again, and that's great. For those of you that don't know, we do have a number of Telegram channels available where you can chat with myself and with Miss Sunny, of course, and our health and wellness group. We will also be reestablishing a center for education, restoration. So that should be done hopefully in the next coming days. As I understand it, Monica with the GEAC has decided to stay with the other group, which is fine. So we have a lot of exciting things coming forward for that, including, that education is so much more than just children in schools. It's going to go beyond that. And, not to put the burden on all of you, but remember, it is up to you to educate the other 8 billion people in the world on what it is we're doing here. So we'll get into that a little bit more in just a minute. So let's talk about the World Situation Report and what's been happening. I took up most of the World Situation Report to explain something that's happening now to you that directly affects you on Monday. And I didn't really kind of get into the what's been going on behind the scenes situation between governments and the secret space program folks and those people. So let's start talking about the role of the secret space program and the 15 militaries, or 14 now, which can be found, since we're on social media in a different platform, which can be found at ACIO-official, I think it's .org, and they put together a nice list for you. We have also outlined them for you. But they are still, there's still a few that are still placing orders around the world. I'm going to say, as of this moment, probably somewhere around 13 to possibly 15 are still giving it a go. They believe that they are in charge. It appears, from what I can tell, before in the past, it was Umbrella that was kind of in charge of all the rest of the militaries, hence the name Umbrella, because everybody fell under their umbrella. But now it is Monarch. Monarch has kind of taken the position that Umbrella used to hold when they were around, and they're continuing to order some operatives that are still listening to them, into doing several different things. One of those things being the earthquake in Japan. Absolutely beyond a shadow of a doubt, that was Arasaka, 100%. There's no doubt in our mind whatsoever. They used more conventional weaponry for that, like a directed energy weapon, also called a DEW. We are checking to see if there is anyone else involved in this situation. And, we prevented a lot of the major ones. This one was a little bit unexpected, and we just didn't make it over there in time. This was not any kind of SSP or secret space program technology that created this one, unlike the fires in Maui, but damaging nonetheless, and our heart goes out to the people in Japan. So if things weren't a little so crazy over there right now, it's going to be real hard for us to get some help to those people if they need it. But we're assessing the situation and see if there's something we can do. Okay, let's talk about the Secret Space program a little bit more. I have some information that's come to me through a source as we are busy locating some of these people. So I thought it would be good or bad for you to put a face to a name. Okay. So this person here is actually Saddam Hussein's third secret son. He is also a member of Monarch Military. He is also involved in the Q movement and the Trump movement. For those of you that don't know, and if you're new here, Saddam Hussein's nickname in college when he went to school at Yale was Sammy, as in Uncle Sam. He was very good friends with Bush Sr., also a member of Skull and Bones and the Order of the Black Sun. So you'll see how all of these things tie together in just a minute. Bush Sr. eventually became the Black Eagle, or the head of the Order of the Black Sun. The Order of the Black Sun usually is a lineage, comes from the Cain family line, which is a lower astral race of beings that interbred with humans, and that's how we got the Order of the Black Sun. This is why their rituals are very strange. They start their children off about the age of 3. They program them. They go to summer camps specifically for these types of things. So you have to understand, when you see a person like this, you know why they do what they do. And why they are the way they are, and why it's so difficult to try to get them to see any other way.
Yeah.
In some ways you could say, okay, it's a bloodline thing. You interbreed with essentially demons, and this is what you get.
Right.
But in other ways, the programming runs very, very deep, in these people's heads. So he is actively participating in the small number I gave you earlier. He is currently located in Alberta, Canada. Maybe not at the time of this broadcast, but he was yesterday. He is a resident of Alberta, Canada, and absolutely 100% involved. And from the back chatter, once I kind of trace back to what this person's doing, he's a little cray-cray.
Yeah.
To say the least. If you have been following at all, the Q clock, it now says the world is going to end, which happens to coincide with the date January 12th, which also happens to be the day after the new moon. Surprise, surprise. Always a new moon and a full moon.
Yeah.
Which also happens to be the day annually that the Order of the Black Sun would get funding. Now, let me explain to you how this worked. The highest level, we talked about how the family meetings usually start in July, and then they go down the food chain, rank and file by rank and file, until you get to, say, the Secret Space Program operatives, and you get to the operative level, and you get to, let's just say, military level, not the higher ranking generals, the 5 stars that you don't see in the news. And this is a worldwide thing. So based on all of those orders and instructions that would trickle down to the highest ranks, contracts would then come out. And some of the higher ranking operatives would receive their contracts the day after the harvest moon every year.
Okay.
Whereas others will try to cause as much death and destruction, hence the earthquake in Japan, the potential threat that we received information about last week when we talked about what happened in London, the possible targeted cities for a New Year's Eve event. Then on the following new moon, after the first of the year, this is when the death payments would come. So the higher the death toll, the more they would get paid per head.
Gosh.
So the reason why they are telling now, obviously there was a lot of promises made to governments that on January 1st, and for those of you that don't know, since we're on other platforms now, on January 1st every year, the U.S. military would declare martial law for 20 minutes, therefore putting them in charge, bypassing Congress, and receiving funding directly from the Order of the Dragon. Because most of the people that had access to the systems called Net 6 or Internet 6 or the AVILP4 system are no longer with us, these would be your deep state people, then now the next rank down, the operatives are promising everybody money based on the fact that they think that this still happens. They just don't understand that it hasn't happened in years. And I mean years. It's been a long time since that has happened. So, of course, now everybody is angry. We've had countless people show up here in the last 24, 48 hours very angry. From the military sector, from operative sectors. They want to know what's going on. They know that I'm here. We also have had a lot of talk and a lot of chatter about the copies of the funding that I had put out in 2012. So, yes, they're on Telegram now, and I put them on Telegram not only to show all of you that, yes, I've been doing this for a long time, but I also put it on Telegram because the information was sent out through to governments, and I know that the agency people that watch my phone and other people have received it, but by putting it out in a public forum, that means anybody can get it. It's a public channel. So all of these operatives on the other end that are being lied to consistently have seen it now. And there was a huge, and I mean huge, eruption that happened after I posted that.
So what was the eruption about, Kim? They were upset. Why?
Because no one knew. They were told I was, she's just crazy. She's never done anything. And that was a whole lie. Then that led to other people, meaning like your Trump operatives and other people, getting this information and pulling the logs of every diplomatic conversation I had with that man on the White House terminal.
Oh, okay.
So for those of you that don't know, a diplomatic conversation is a recorded conversation. Mm-hmm. It's also recorded in the archives. It's also recorded in all of records, and it goes automatically. It's not something you can stop. So I am aware of the fact that when they say Trump took the nuclear football, you heard that story. It wasn't the nuclear football. I am the nuclear football. They took the dang terminal. For those of you that also don't know, I also hold the third set of keys to launch a nuclear weapon. So is that the actual nuclear football? No, it's not, but it is the terminal that he took to Mar-a-Lago after he left office. Now, we all know he's not with us anymore, so the operatives that are playing the role finally got wind of what I was really trying to do here. I was all about, at the time, thinking we could save government, thinking we could turn things around. Now, this actually turned some of their heads, and this is how we ended up at that much lower percentage that I'm talking about, which is of the people living and breathing. We have some Arasaka, and I said this is one of the gentlemen that's also still involved, and it's about 15 or so people. We're no longer talking hundreds, and we're not talking thousands. We're talking about a few people that are still planning on doing this.
Okay.
Now, the next date of promised money did not go over very well either, because they didn't promise them money on January 12th when they think it's going to come, because you never know if it's a full moon, You know, their information might be a little sketchy. So it could be a full moon or it could be a new moon. They're not sure when it would have happened, but it's going to happen. They also are saying that the world is going to end by January 12th. Mm-hmm. Talk about death payments now. See? And they are trying very hard to make it happen. They are also aware of the fact that there is very little dark matter here. There's very little connection to humans. It hasn't stopped them from trying any which way but loose to try to end the world so that they can get this big payout, they think, and they think they're going to be the kings of the world. Well, I know. God bless them all. But this is part of the reason, the second half of the reason of the second wave of the angry people, which started yesterday. Because they say, well, it might be by the end of the month that we can fund you. Well, they're out of money. They're out of time. You know, there's a war going on that is started by them too, and they can't keep it running. You know, nobody wants to send any more weapons. They can't afford to pay for them. Nothing is happening. And so that is why we've had several waves of angry people show up in Durango, Colorado, looking for answers, not only from me, but also from the local people. What the heck is really going on here? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where the world is at right now. I don't see any natural disasters. I do see them running around everywhere right now trying to create a natural disaster. About every 5 minutes, I get an alert of a meeting that they're having amongst themselves for events. In other words, a dark or a harmful event plan for, or a disaster plan for the USA. There's been disasters planned for Iraq and Iran, disasters planned for Bethlehem. That's a big one for them too. And thus far, they have been unsuccessful in doing any of those things. I know they would like to. They also don't seem to understand that the mechanism behind what they want to do doesn't exist anymore. Right. But that doesn't stop them from trying. Another such event that they were trying, which was a little remnant that was left, was to send out extremely electromagnetic frequencies or extremely low frequencies coming from 0 point Earth. This was earlier today, going out through the veins of gold and then eventually out through the fiber optic cables. Which is a giant web of cables around the world, and then eventually through to your televisions, your phones, your to cause, obviously, death and destruction. They thought that would be a good way to kill a lot of people, but that mechanism isn't there either. So,
and do they realize that, Kim? Do they realize?
Back to the drawing board for them, you know. Yeah. Got to keep it moving, I guess. And that's about kind of where it's at right now. So there's a little bit of a war going on. It's part of the reason why I didn't join you on camera. I've been trying to do that more often lately. And I've been running from that to a lot of good and positive things too. So I'm doing all my jobs on this end, and I'm doing the jobs on that end. There are also people putting out rumors and capitalizing on things like, oh, she's not the trustee anymore, that kind of thing. Well, we will dispel those rumors later today because the Treasury Department, because it actually came from the government. So one person put it out, you know, in social media or something. And then, of course, the CIA gets involved, the NSA gets involved, the SSP is like, oh, great, you know, more people saying the same thing. Let's tell the Pentagon and everyone else that it's true, which is also a lie. So there'll be proof of that. I'll put out to the governments and whatnot today. You know, still me. No changeover happened. Nothing happened. The world is not going to end. Cue people on January 11th or 12th. It's not. That's not going to happen. You will be unsuccessful. And Trump also did not return, or fake Trump, or whoever that is now, did not return on January 1st as promised. There was no money that came out for the revaluation of currency. That didn't happen either. So basically, we're all in the same position that we were a few days ago, with the exception of we keep moving and they go nowhere.
Yeah.
In other words, they're going around in circles trying to make the world end and cause death and destruction and a harvest event, but all that's over.
And
are they so deeply programmed in the brain they can't get it? I don't know. I think so. Because a lot of them disappeared too during the course of the last several days at different locations, not only around the United States, like Wichita, Kansas, but also in other areas of the world. So, well, they're going to do what they're going to do.
And these were people that have been presented the information in the past, right? They are choosing to ignore the warnings and, the information, the legitimate information that they've been given about how things are actually run.
Yeah.
So they know that, right? They're just deliberately going against it.
Well, they've received the information, and they have actually personally gone to locations to check the information. Yeah. They have been to the Octagon in the last 24, 48 hours, which is kind of like it was a hub, not run by humans for a long time. That would have been a communications post to the lower astral or to Demonville or hell, for lack of a better term. And that is where they would have gotten orders, instructions, information from that was stored there in the past. They tried to file several agreements there. They are no longer with us. They know they're no longer with us. They know every time they step foot somewhere, they're no longer with us. These are just facts. It's not like even information, like I'm just telling them, hey, here's what's going on. Or the archivists have told them, hey, here's what's going on. Or their colleagues have told them, hey, here's what's going on. They've actually witnessed people that they sent on operations not come back.
That doesn't make any sense.
But you have to remember the programming. It doesn't make any sense because the programming is one of the things they're all told is they are special.
Right.
It's Maslow's triangle. Mm-hmm. At the highest, you appeal to their morality. You are special. You are from a bloodline, ancient bloodline of so-and-so in biblical terms, and you could be the second coming of Christ. You could be insert biblical character here, and it's actually the opposite.
Yeah.
So they're appealing to their own self-sense of who they are. Most likely Saddam Hussein's son here was probably told he was the Mahdi. He's probably told that he's the one that is going to come back and save the world. But at the same time, their programmed brain compartmentalizes things. They're very fractionated mentally. It's almost sort of like, it's not schizophrenia. It's a factionated, almost compartmentalized brain. It where they create their own reality. But it's multiple realities at the same time. They don't see the world the way we do. So on the one hand, this guy has expressed that he's the Mahdi. He is in contact with people in Iraq like Sistani and other religious leaders throughout the Shia and Sunni communities. On the flip side of it, Mahdi, just so you know, in case you don't know, that is the Islamic version of the second coming of Muhammad, the Savior, if you will. Now, on the flip side of it, he's running around giving orders to send out electromagnetic frequencies through electronic devices that are coming through the veins of gold, eventually to the fiber optic cables all around the world in order to kill everybody.
I know. That's why there's such a disconnect between all of this.
That's what I'm trying to say. So if you believe you are this religious leader that is going to save everybody, by the same token, you're trying to kill everybody, there's a little bit of a conflict there.
Yeah.
and then who are you going to quote unquote save? There's nobody left. But nonetheless, this is where the tie comes into Donald Trump, Bush Sr., Order of the Black Sun, Saddam Hussein, Sammy, Order of the Black Sun, Trump, Order of the Black Sun, Q people, Order of the Black Sun, because if your father is Order of the Black Sun, chances are your son is as well. Mm-hmm. That's how it works. It's a family bloodline, that kind of thing. So I hope you're getting a clearer picture. It's not, there's someone that asked me yesterday, and I didn't have a chance to respond about, I know you don't like Trump. I don't dislike anybody. I have factual data to prove that he is not a friend of humanity. Yeah. So I have proof that he participated in a 40th year birthday ritual, which is 40 is the year that they all do their ritual. Usually it's a young child that's sacrificed, possibly also some rape involved, some blood drinking, and some other things that they all do. And there are videotapes out there that of this very thing. Yep. There are also videotapes of him partying with Epstein, which we all know what Epstein does. But yet, for some reason, everybody still paints him like he's a hero. Right. And also not breathing, so it's all a lie. It's the lie. I mean, stop the lie. Okay, next, let's talk about positive changes we have going on. So I'm excited about what's happening for us. As you know, if you've been following us for a while, you know that we had a glitch with a partner, and we no longer have our existing streaming app. Which is fine, because the good news is we have already found what we think would be a good fit for us in a new streaming app, which has some exciting new features to it. Number one thing you'll find very exciting is that there is a built-in community there. And you can build multiple communities if you want within there, which means that not only will we still exist on Telegram to some degree, but you'll be able to communicate with one another in a more organized fashion without having to actually be on a public social media network, because I know a lot of people hate that. Yep. They don't want to be on Telegram. They don't want to be on those types of networks. So that is a real positive feature for us. Number two, we have also been sourced and been in a testing mode for a new software for the organization of the CARE, Center for Amity and Restoration of Earth, for all project management, workflow. So our new committees, that'll be the head of various departments, because it will be a committee. It's not going to be a singular person. This is not ending well for anybody. So we're going to do it in this fashion. We'll be able to see all of the things that are going on in their division. And as your division grows, to thousands and hopefully millions of people, you'll actually be able to see what's going on in the entire network worldwide. We can break it down even further until continent to continent level. We can actually do mass information. So if we're going to do something collectively as the CARE group, we can send it out to all departments worldwide. There'll be logins for this for everyone, and it can handle millions, if not billions of people. It grows with you. Wow. So it's our own cloud-based platform. I'm really excited. So far, I've had to dip into it a little tiny bit. Some of our more IT savvy people have also been looking for any kind of glitches, kind of trying to overload it, see how it works, see if it has all the features that we need. We can also add additional softwares and plugins and those types of things. So that's really exciting, because that's starting to take shape and form now. And this has all happened in the last few days. Boy, am I excited. Really, I am. Because I'm also very excited to see the way everybody is collaborating on the chat in the chat rooms now, really starting to formulate some good ideas, and we're going to be able to put those into motion. That was my co-host. Sorry about that.
Your other co-host.
My other co-host, yeah. Apparently there is a noise outside and we must investigate.
That's right.
That was Frankie, by the way. So things are taking shape and form, and these things are not necessarily next year things, 2 years from now things. These are things that we'll be excited to be implementing within the next 30 to 60 days.
Yeah.
To go back to the app, we also have a store of our own that we can connect to the app. Now, this store so far had only had, our UNN shirts and hats and, cute little sayings, Kimisms, so to speak, and some other fun stuff. So that's great. But we're also going to be adding a lot more to that store, meaning we are a community of people. Each one individually has something to bring to the table. Now, not everybody would want to participate in this way, but we will also have other health items, and if there are members of our community that provide a service, doesn't even have to be an item, has written a book, produces some kind of, essential oils or organic teas or whatever it is, you can now list your stuff on there for sale. There's going to be a lot of new features coming out that will help us support each other around the world. The other thing that I have, which is actually going to be up between now and Friday, so before our next news, so keep an eye out for it, is our written news website will be up and running again. Yeah. I'm excited about this because there's new features to that. So for those of you that have offered us donations, it is not going to be a donation. It is going to be a sponsorship. I touched on this a little bit on Monday and Monday's report, but it only takes about 48 hours to formulate the thought and execute on it. So we are, thanks to our entire production team that have worked countless hours until I'm sure they fell over at night, but they finally will have it up and running, possibly as early as tomorrow, but probably no later than Friday is what I'm being told. This will also have a community page. Now, this community page is for our sponsors. So many of you know what's happened to us, and you've reached out to me personally, and you want to know how you can help, and you've offered some kind of, financial assistance, and that's great. But I don't want a donation. I want to be able to give something back to you too. So this community page will give you an opportunity to advertise your small business if you have a website and you want to put that information out there. And there's a lot of good information about whatever it is you do. You are free to share that and tell a little bit about yourself. There's about 300 or so characters that says, hi, my name is Mary, and I'm a massage therapist in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, or something. So you have the ability to put where you are, what areas of the world you service. If you are worldwide, you can put worldwide in there so people know where to find you and what you do. And then we are now supporting each other. Yep. So in addition to that, you will also receive an email once the app is up and running with a discount for any other new subscribers, and or you could possibly even earn a month free, 2 months free, something like this, depending on the amount of the donation. You can choose to make your, sponsorship. You can choose to make your sponsorship anonymous as well. So we're not forcing everybody to put your names. You can also keep the amount personal as well. But you can hide that if you'd like to, which is fine. But at least we're having a way to all come together to see what is actually out there. We are not moderating these businesses. Of course, if someone sends us $1 and says, swear words, we're not going to put that up, obviously. But other than that, these are your businesses. We are not endorsing or not endorsing these businesses, just to be real clear. So you're kind of free to do what you need to do for recognition there on the site. And that will hopefully help you a little bit until we can actually recover enough to assist you with possibly some financial assistance for the loss that happened recently. So this is at least a way to try to do that as best we can with what we have right now. Next, we have a new social media program we are going to be rolling out, which means we have good news and we have interesting news. So some people in some countries have a really hard time watching our videos on UNN because they have something called digital rights management. Digital rights management is where you try to screenshot it or whatever, and the screen goes blank. Yeah. Now, initially we thought this was a good idea because there were, our stuff was popping up all over the place. But by the same token, we prefer to have the new network be a little bit more on the honor system. So if you want access to the new community, you want access to watch the videos on our network, and that type of thing, it's kind of on you. Yeah. Your support for us is on you. Now, we will continue to increase our social media presence. So we will be on Instagram soon. We will reactivate a Twitter account. We will also be on TikTok more actively. So right now, if you go to any one of we're not on Instagram and we're not on Twitter at the moment. Twitter, X, sorry. Still don't like saying that. But we are on TikTok and Rumble and YouTube. But what you typically see right now is you see the coming ups. So it'll tell you what's going to be in the news. Well, managing social media is a lot more than that. And it's also going to involve you, which is why I'm telling you about this. So once the program rolls out, you will have various challenges you can participate in or not. So as an example, if you are a TikTok user, you will see us putting up various clips, 1 minute to 3 minutes, normal time on TikTok, from our news. So your challenge is to share these clips with all of your followers on TikTok, and then we'll grow even more. The most important thing we can do is get the word out of what's really happening as we go through changes in this world. Yeah. And so that is up to all of us, just like our field messengers. Our field messengers is a term for you. If all of you, millions of people may watch this, are participating in reporting news from your respective areas, you'll put the fake news out of business.
Yes, you will. Huh?
It doesn't cost you anything but a little bit of your time. Record the events in your area. You do it right on your phone. It's not hard. And I know everybody looks amazing once they finally hit the news, and our reports, but that's the work of our production team. And they are here to help you. They're here to help you put together your reports. We even have some new exciting things that might be coming to production as well to help the field messengers even more. But a field messenger is nothing more than just you, an average everyday person that happens to witness an event in your area. And that event could be positive, or it could be some kind of a difficult situation. It could be an increase in power cost, electricity cost in your area, and you're telling everybody that it's going to happen. Maybe you work for a company that's going to be changing and consumers are going to see a rising price. So really the news is up to you. What do you want to see in your news? The current mainstream news is narratives. It's Project Mockingbird. And if you want to break it, 5 minutes, your phone, and upload a video. That's it. That's all you got to do. So that's our some of the new things that you'll see coming up with the social media program. Also, if you know kind of how TikTok works, you can play a video in the background, which could be this clip of our news, and you can put your own commentary over it. That kind of thing, and have some fun with it. You can make fun of Sunny's cough. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, great. Thanks, Cam.
No one wants to make fun of Sunny. They only want to make fun of me.
It's all good. I'll play along. If you guys want to do that, it's all good.
Yeah. So have some fun with this. This is meant to, be sharing truth, be sharing information with the world, and in a way that's, there's no stress, there's no pressure. The social media manager will reveal themselves shortly to you. They'll be posting also on Telegram and in our new community when it's up and running. So take advantage, I should say, of the fact that we're not going to have digital rights management. Feel free to make your own little clips, share the news with the world. Yeah. I'm hoping, you can do them in small bites, because I think Twitter or X or whatever it is now limits you to the length of time. Instagram does too. So does TikTok. So I'm hoping that you'll participate in this with us, and while you continue to support us, because I know there's going to be a lot of people that will screen record and still put the whole news on social media, and it's not exactly ethical.
You know what I mean? It's like at least the word still gets out there.
Well, exactly right. And I know those that have supported us all along will continue to support us. And of course, Source is always supporting us, because this is his project. So it will be what it will be.
Yep.
We can't change the world by, it's up to you. That's right, Sunny. It's up to me. It's up to everyone. We do have a new translation software we're also testing out that from the native language speakers, they say that it's fairly accurate. It's better than even what YouTube puts out, which isn't very good anyway, as you know. So we look forward to hopefully utilizing that on the new app as well. Okay. And keep an eye out for new Telegram threads for different divisions, different departments. I know that some of you have been working on food insecurity, food security, I should say, not and security, food security for a while now. There'll be some communication for that. There'll be something new for that. We also have education, agriculture, transportation, minerals, and that type of thing. There's many different departments of CARES. There's hundreds of departments of CARES, and then there's hundreds, if not thousands, of sub-departments, and then they're divided by regions, because not everybody has the same problem, in all different areas. Some places the soil is too wet, some places the soil is too dry. So there are lots of issues, and sometimes they're regional issues. So there'll be a lot to see when you see the new workflow come out. So you'll be surprised at how well it's structured for all of you. I should say there's a framework in place so that you can work with organization and ease. And then I can pull the information without. I hate Telegram. I have to be honest with you. I'm sure, maybe some people love it and think it's the greatest thing, but, it's not my thing.
Not your thing.
It's just, It's very poorly done. I mean, I've created those couple new channels myself, and I'm like, why is the discussion going way over there? Where is that discussion coming from? Why isn't it in the same thread I posted it? Why is it over there now? I don't know. And it's just bad. It's bad management. You can't run an international organization based on communications on Telegram. You just can't do it.
Right.
It's a do for now, but it's not where we're going to go. And all of these things should be out in rapid succession. The web portion of the app it takes less time, maybe a week or two or something like that once we get rolling. So we're probably looking at the end of the month for that. Then in addition to that, we also have the Apple Store, the Google Play Store for the new apps and those types of things. The apps are also available for our care organizational channel. So there's actually apps for that as well. So that's going to take a little bit of time. Apple takes longer than Google. It's just the way that it is. Once you actually submit all the correctly sized graphics and all those types of things. And, depends on how quickly we can get all that done. Our production team is going like gangbusters right now, working overtime to try and recover losses, to get things back up and running, and of course keep the news running Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for you. So a big round of applause to all of you. I know, Sunny, you've been working your tail off with no voice over there to keep things going on your end of it. We've done very well. The news was excellent today. So we're just going to keep it moving.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know there were some questions, Kim, on Telegram about the old content that we've put out in the past, because a lot of people like to go back into the archives, watch previous newscasts and world situation reports. Can you give us some more information on what will be available in the new app? Are we bringing all that over? What about the content from some of the groups that have split off? What can you tell us?
We have retained all the content. Everything is always backed up, like triple backed up. So yes, the information is in the app. That's part of it. That's one storage place. But we also have hard drives where everything is backed up as well. And we also have it backed up on a data storage platform in a cloud. So we have triple backup right now on everything that we do. So we should have most all of it up on the new app. Now, of course, you're talking, thousands of hours or hundreds of hours of video. So, we might go from the newest first and then on back. And upload as quickly as we can. But, like I said, we have probably 50 or so staff, at the ready right now working hard to do this. So if you have ever thought about joining production, or you have some ability to upload videos or something like this and you want to help, feel free to reach out. It's admin@unitednetwork.earth. So you can reach out there and someone should get back to you if you're wanting to join in that way. So yes, it will be. We do have that. We did retain our field messenger reports as well. I think the questions with Kim also.
I
questions
believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have all that.
Okay, good. Okay. Thank you for checking. Our field messenger reports are still going out every day. We're getting a lot of views on those. People are wondering what the heck is going on here. So I thought I'd kind of explain it a little bit, because what a field messenger is and where they come from. So our field messenger reports appear in two different places. Number one, they are a longer version of the field messenger report is posted up on the app individually. And we post, I believe it's 2 field messenger reports a day, every day, 7 days a week. Okay. And we have shorter versions of field messenger reports that also appear in our news.
Right.
These are just average, everyday people that want to change the face of media. That's what they're here for. That could be you if you're watching this now. So that's our field messengers. Next, we also have another section of the news. If you're seeing us for the first time, or at least our full news on social media, we also have a new section called A New Earth. Now, our New Earth section is where we interview other people that have excellent concepts about what they want to see in the world. So this could be anything from, for example, new technologies, hemp blocks for building, different nutritional food services, health and wellness ideas someone might have never even thought of, to contribute to your health. We can do, a spiritual teaching, such as Carrie Kay and Michelle, and how to put your brain into theta mode, where you're most connected to the light and source, our creator. So there's a lot of different things that we can do there in the New Earth segment, and we want you to participate in that as well. I mean, this is not, this is a community. Again, we're here to support each other. We're here to share your new and exciting ideas with the world. Now, everything that we put in there might not be for you. You might be in a desert and it's all about being in a climate, that's very humid. You might not feel the need to meditate, but you might like the series on grounding. You could so it's just basically giving you the information, showing you the options that are out there, and teaching you a little bit. And then, of course, we have our regular news. Now, if you've noticed, our news is a little different than the mainstream news. It's because we gave up on reporting on politics, which we call the Hollywood for ugly people. It is a movie. It's being staged for you. None of these people actually do anything that they say. All of governments worldwide are run by operatives. I don't know if you know this. And some of them are with the secret space program that we just talked to you about. So we figure it's just kind of a movie. It's like we're reporting on the same movie that just never seems to end. Have you ever gone and seen a movie, Sunny, where the movie's 2.5 hours long or 3 hours long, and you're in the theater and you're starting to shift from side to side, and you've been sitting way too long, and even if it's a great movie, it's too long.
Yep.
And that movie for me is too long. So we report on things that are about the people. In other words, if it's going to affect the average everyday person, then that's what we're reporting on. So you'll see news from all around the world, very important issues that could affect your life personally in our news. And then, of course, you get me in the World Situation Report, and I tell everybody what's really going on behind the scenes. For those of you that don't know me, I have the highest clearance in the world. I am the director of the Global Intelligence Agency. The Global Intelligence Agency has been around longer than me. And was formerly run by the dark side. I took it over, and now I run it. And the Global Intelligence Agency is the most senior agency in the world. It is over the CIA, it always has been from its inception. So all of these are sub-agencies or lesser agencies. Now, there's a conflict because they liked the old management, and I'm new management. Yeah. So right now, they're still trying to keep together some kind of structure over there, and we're kind of over here fighting the global deep state, for lack of a better term. So that's me. That's where this information comes from. And of course, all of you know Miss Sunny, and if this is redundant for our viewers that have been watching us for a long time, I'm sorry, but we did enter a new platform, so I thought I'd explain who we are and what we do.
That's good. That's a good explanation.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, Miss Sunny, we're going to wrap things up.
Yeah, so we're not going to do questions today, guys. We're waiting for the website to be up and running, which, as Kim told you, is going to be in the next few days, so you won't have to wait long. But we just thought it was better to hold off on questions until we can get that up and running and tell you where to submit your questions and all that good stuff. So maybe Friday, maybe Monday, we'll see, but we will get back to questions shortly. And thank you, Kim. Appreciate all you do.
Thank you, Sunny. Have a great day.
You too. That wraps up today's news update. Please share UNN with your friends and family. We need everyone to come together and help restore our planet. When news happens in your area, record it and share it with us so we can help you share it with the world. Remember, if it's going to be, it's up to me. I'm Sunny Galt. Join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the real news.